Would all degree candidates and guests please rise as you are able? Please remain standing until you are invited to be seated. Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs of Northeastern University, James C. Bean, and the Dunton Family Dean of the D'Amore-McKim School of Business, Raj Ishambadi, will now lead the academic procession. Please be seated. It is my pleasure to introduce the Dunton Family Dean of the D'Amore-McKim School of Business, Raj Ishambadi. Please join me in welcoming him.
Good afternoon, D'Amore-McKim School of Business graduates, family members, friends, faculty, staff, and esteemed guests. It is my great honor and pleasure to welcome you all to this wonderful and joyous occasion. At the outset, let me congratulate and applaud the academic achievements of all the graduates. Congratulations, D'Amore-McKim class of 2019. Let me place your achievement in context. As you may know, our university is more than 120 years old, and the School of Business is about 97 years old. That means over these many decades, the university and its business school have been blessed with thousands of terrific students like you. Today, you're joining this great pantheon of academic achievers who came before you and who have gone on to make an impact on the world. So congratulations in sustaining our legacy of excellence. Let's trace the journey of what brought you here. Think about the first day you began your graduate level courses. No doubt you were excited about continuing your education at one of the elite universities in the world. But truth be told, were you experiencing self-doubt? Were you anxious a teeny bit? Now look at where you are today. You're confident, you're ready to thrive in this new world of work that is marked by digital convergence. Your reputation as a D'Amore-McKim graduate will always bestow upon you the well-deserved assumption that you are smart, hardworking, and well-trained for business success. You will take this degree and do great things professionally. You have been transformed. And all of this happened because you engaged and challenged yourself as you explored new intellectual and professional goals, and you also learned with and from a wonderfully diverse set of people. D'Amore-McKim is a diverse learning networked opportunity on purpose. Through your experiences and success at Northeastern, you have already internalized a fundamental lesson that will stand you in great stead in life. Engaging in dialogue with people who see the world differently from us enriches how we understand issues and develop insights. My hope for you is that you will utilize your Northeastern experiences and become impactful, ethical global leaders. The world needs you to solve the grand challenges of our times. Let's be very clear about one thing. You are here because of your hard work and efforts, but a perspective of what got you here and an acknowledgement of your support system helps. An elite system like Northeastern thrives because of the intellectual capital embodied in herself. We are very lucky in that respect. Thanks to our faculty who work tirelessly to ensure the overall well-being of our students, our staff who work extraordinarily hard every day to execute the vision of D'Amore-McKim so that we can actually meet the dreams and aspirations of our students. Thanks to the leaders of our university, President Awoon, Provost Bean, and trustees Alan McKim and Rich D'Amore who are here, who empower us all to innovate and promote excellence in everything we do at Northeastern. But to us, the unsung heroes are the parents, spouses, friends, families, and significant others of our graduates. You are the reason why our graduates are standing here after the successful completion of their studies. Graduates, look around and thank your support system for their support. Thank you. Beyond your friends, family, faculty, and staff, there are others who have worked tirelessly to get you here. Alumni and friends of D'Amore-McKim have visited your classes, worked with your student groups, helped with corporate residencies, and provided mentoring and funding for your scholarships. They understood what D'Amore-McKim meant for them, and they wanted to do their part to make your alma mater just as important to you. Our many corporate partners have helped you with experiential learning opportunities that have facilitated and enhanced your academic learning. Others have given to you with the hope and expectation that your future deeds will boldly honor, enrich, and invigorate our community. Now, I encourage you to follow in these footsteps. Give so that others have the same advantages you had. As your continues continue to progress, we know you'll proudly share what you have learned here and return with good fortune so that others may find their path marked in your footsteps. But finally, remember that as you go forward, your successes reflect well on D'Amore-McKim and Northeastern University. In turn, our success here will reflect well on you. Get it? We are now partners forever, intertwined forever. When you go for that job interview to be the CEO in 2029, people will see that you went to D'Amore-McKim School of Business at Northeastern University. And in their minds, they'll equate to the status of D'Amore-McKim in 2029, not what it was like in 2019. So you need help to help us get better, keep track of us, and hold us accountable. And I want to see you on the front pages of the Wall Street Journal soon, of course, for the right reasons. Oh, one more thing. Always remember, money is the reward, never the purpose. Excellence in what you do will bring you all that you need and more, including money, but the converse is not true. Graduates of the class of 2019, nothing will make us happier than to see you have significant impact in the world. So go out, make a difference, make us proud. Congratulations once again. Thank you. It is now my pleasure to introduce Professor Todd Alessandri. Todd is an associate professor in our International Business and Strategy group, and for the 6 years, he has served as the faculty director of our full-time MBA program. Professor Alessandri is an extraordinary mentor to our MBA students with a particular focus on developing and strengthening their critical thinking skills. He is a thoughtful program innovator who led the launch of the redesigned full-time MBA program a couple of years ago, one that has enabled us to be agile and innovative in the MBA space. He is an award-winning teacher who serves undergraduate, graduate, and executive students, and a leading scholar in the field of strategic management. Please join me in welcoming Professor Todd Alessandri to the podium to introduce today's student speaker, Sarah Hall Weaver. Thank you.
Good afternoon. It's my pleasure to introduce our graduate student speaker, Sarah Hall Weaver. Sarah's background prior to joining Northeastern reflects her multiple talents. She spent 7 years putting her undergraduate degree in fine arts to good use, serving as coordinator and director positions in multiple fine arts organizations. She then spent 3 years as a digital content strategist for a marketing firm. Sarah then joined the D'Amore-McKim full-time MBA program in 2017, looking to accelerate a career change as well as experience a new place. Since joining the MBA program, Sarah has focused her efforts on developing her strategy knowledge and skills. During the Global Consulting Project course at the end of her first year, she worked with Deloitte Consulting's Innovation Group in Hamburg, Germany. Sarah's initiative and abilities were recognized by Deloitte during the project, and she was invited to participate in an artificial intelligence sprint week at Deloitte's Berlin offices. She has also excelled in her corporate residency at Schneider Electric, progressing from a business analyst role to that of project manager, assuming greater responsibility for strategic and process improvement projects. Currently, Sarah is finalizing her post-graduation plans with several irons in the fire. She updated me beforehand, but I'm not allowed to speak. We wish her the best of luck as she applies her energy and knowledge to the next phase of her career. I would like now to welcome Sarah to the podium.
Good afternoon. A lot can happen in 2 years, and a lot did happen. We welcomed a record number of women to Congress. Lyft finally beat Uber to IPO. Game of Thrones ended. Terribly. The Red Sox won the World Series, the Patriots won the Super Bowl, the Huskies won the Bean Pot, twice. Two years is a long time, but it didn't feel that way. 2 years ago this week, actually, Kate Klepper, our Associate Dean of Graduate Programs, greeted our class during orientation, and I remember every second of her address like it happened 2 minutes ago. I remember who sat next to me, who sat in front of me, what I was wearing, what we had for lunch. I remember already feeling tired, and we were only days in. But the reason I remember this moment so well is because of the pure shock of hearing Associate Dean Klepper extend her congratulations, because as she pointed out, for so many of us, and for so many of the other graduate students in this room today, this was the first thing we were really doing for ourselves, the first thing no one nudged us into. We chose to be here. We weren't told to be here, we didn't have to be here, and yet we committed ourselves to something very difficult ahead, simply out of confidence that we would be better for it in the end. I thought that was incredible to hear, because up to that point, I thought maybe I was the only person that felt that way, that this was my little secret, that somehow everyone else had a justifiable reason for being here, that I didn't, that it was maybe a little too wild to halt the life you'd already built. It was a risk, to leave your family and your friends, a nice enough job at a nice enough company, all the comforts of playing it safe. It was terrifying, and at times it could even feel a little selfish. But I wasn't alone in that, and there we were together. So you fast forward to today, and here we are again. This is where you're supposed to look back and consider how far you've come, right? This is where you're supposed to look around and thank the people who have been so integral in helping you get here. all the ones you left behind while you took those risks, while you learned your lessons, and while you worked your way to the seat you're sitting in. By all means, do it. Thank them. Thank them now while you still have the chance to look them in the eyes. Thank the staff that welcomed you through the doors and guided you all the way to the very end. Your professors for dragging you through every page, every deck, every discussion. Thank your family, your classmates, your colleagues, your mentors, your partner, all of your friends who were there for you that really got you through it, whatever the hardest parts were. I know I want to thank all of those people that helped me, and I hope you know who you are, and I hope you know how grateful I am. But there's something more. I want to share a quote from world-renowned American artist, activist, and entrepreneur Calvin Cortazar Broadus Jr. You may better recognize him by his stage name, Snoop Dogg. Last but not least, I want to thank me. I want to thank me for believing in me. I want to thank me for doing all this hard work. I want to thank me for having no days off. I want to thank me for never quitting. I want to thank me for always being a giver and trying to give more than I receive. I want to thank me for trying to do more right than wrong. I want to thank me for just being me at all times. Snoop has crafted an extraordinary career around his talent with words, his distinctive personality, and his ability to create opportunity when it doesn't materialize on its own, and rarely does it materialize on its own. Confidence and comedy aside, when you consider the level of success and impact someone like him has achieved, you have to take their words of wisdom to heart. This is so important. Thank the people who have supported you, but do not for 1 second forget to thank yourself. You chose to do this. You showed up, you did the work, you sacrificed comfort and rest, you kept a promise to yourself, and you kept the promises you made to all of the people that have invested in you. If you do not take the time to acknowledge what you've accomplished and what you are capable of, you're leaving value on the table. Thank yourself, because it will be that much easier to push into the next challenge, and it will be that much easier to contribute back what you have accepted from others. For so many of us, this really was the first thing we did for ourselves. It wasn't selfish, and in hindsight, it was barely a risk. It was an opportunity you created for yourself, much like Snoop D-O-double-G himself. Just remember one thing. You might not have a car or a big gold chain. Stay true to yourself, and things will change. Congratulations and best of luck.
Thank you, Sarah, for those lovely remarks. It is my pleasure now to call upon Trustees Richard A. D'Amore, Chair of the Board of Trustees, and Vice Chair Alan S. McKim to bring forth Mr. Bob Davis.
As the founder, president, and CEO of Lycos, you grew the internet search engine company into a global media giant that consistently outperforms Wall Street expectations and became the most visited online destination in the world. In your role as general partner at Highland Capital Partners, you are recognized as a force in helping to make that venture investing firm a leader in the development of tomorrow's game changers in the consumer and enterprise technology sectors. Possessing a deep understanding of digital technology as a catalyst for business innovation, you have provided invaluable counsel to the White House, Congress, the United Nations, and other policy bodies on issues relating to internet commerce and government regulation. As a best-selling author, you have shared your business acumen with a global audience. Through your service on the boards of nonprofits in both education and healthcare, you have sought to put that expertise to work for the greater good. Therefore, on the occasion of your graduation address at the 2019 D'Amore-McKim School of Business's Master Degree ceremony, we express our sincerest admiration for a career devoted to mentoring tomorrow's innovators and promoting investments in the future.
I was looking for the citation. So, Bob Davis, on the occasion of the D'Amore-McKim School of Business graduation ceremony, Northeastern is pleased to bestow upon you this special citation.
Heralded business leader and mentor, accomplished technology entrepreneur, advisor to national policymakers, please join me in welcoming your graduation speaker, Bob Davis.
Good evening, and what an honor. You know, before I get going on my formal remarks, I want to warn you that the last time I spoke this close to the dinner hour, I saw 2 or 3 minutes into my comments sitting in the front row, there was a gentleman that started to nod off, and the more I spoke, the more his head went down, and a couple more minutes, it was an outright snore, as loud as you can imagine, and that's distracting as a speaker, I want you to know, someone snoring as you're speaking right in the front row. So I did the only thing I could do. I looked down from the podium to the person sitting beside him, and I said, "Sir, please wake that gentleman up." And he looked up at me politely and said, "You wake him up, you put him to sleep." So we'll see if we can't do that today. I want to begin with a story, and to me, a lot of the things I have to say are about stories and where they go, and that takes me back more than 20 years ago. After a really long day at work, I ended up, in of all places, a bar room with a handful of coworkers. At the time, I was the CEO of Lycos, a company that I had founded as one of the Internet's very first search engines. It was Google before there was Google. At the time, we were in the final stages of preparing for an IPO, and any of you that have been through that process understand how arduous it is. It's hours upon hours spent in a room with bankers, lawyers, advisors, arguing over this minutia to create a set of documents that satisfy the SEC while also exciting investors to buy our stock. Anyway, back to the bar. So there we were in that bar room, and as I got close to last call, I heard one of my coworkers shouting out really loud, "Hey, Bob, that's you. That's us. That's all of us." And he pointed. He pointed to this giant of a man. The man was wearing this dull green T-shirt. It was ripped, dirty, and assuredly had not been washed in all of its lifetime. But on the shirt was written 5 words. 5 words of inspiration that I felt told my life story and would become my guidepost to this very day. The words on the shirt: you let up, you lose. To me, it stood for perseverance, for overcoming obstacles, for recognizing that there is no easy road, and for hoping and, more important, believing that I could rise beyond expectations that others had for me. I controlled, you control, we all control our paths with hard work and commitment. That was the life we were living at Lycos. There's never a guarantee that effort will become success, because we know, if we know anything, it's that life is not always fair, and it's rarely simple. But here is one guarantee that you can count on. Nothing offers greater dividends than perseverance. But before I go too far, let me wind the clock way back for a moment and give you some of my own personal backstory. I grew up just a few blocks from here in Boston's Dorchester section. I lived on the 2nd floor of a multifamily home that abutted what the neighborhood kids called the dump. My mother died when I was 13. My father died when I was 20. I had no grandparents, few living relatives. My father, who I loved very much, prior to his death, encouraged me not to attend college, but to instead seek the security of a civil service job. I didn't listen, and ended up at Northeastern as a commuting student. I had no money, and I mean no money. But adversity is a funny thing, because as times got tough, I found myself getting tougher. I hunkered down, And I said that the only one that's going to be able to help you is you yourself. Maybe not with these words at the time, but I clearly thought, if you let up, you lose. In high school, I was never a particularly great student. In fact, I was a rotten student. But when I got to Northeastern, somehow this switch flipped, and I began to study maniacally. I got straight A's. I graduated in the top 10 of my class. I never worked less than 2 jobs while attending school. I was a management major and found a co-op job at IBM. That was my first real taste of technology of any time. Then disappointment. Upon graduation, I was turned down for a full-time role at IBM because my boss at the time thought I looked too young. Nobody tells me that today, unfortunately. But so then I combed through the help wanted ads in the Boston Globe and ended up at General Electric, and after that, Wang Laboratories. Wang was a publicly traded computer company that had just filed for bankruptcy as my career was beginning to accelerate. So I was back to ground zero. So at 38 years old, with a mortgage and 3 kids, I started Lycos as the internet was getting off the ground. We had no capital, no employees, no customers, and we were on the cusp of disaster more times than I could count. We had a very inexperienced and raw CEO, me, and a shaky business model. But we had grit and determination. We said, if you let up, you lose. And believe me, we said it all the time. And we believed in ourselves, and we believed in each other, and then it all came together. We took the company public in what became and still is the fastest IPO from inception to offering in NASDAQ history. We exceeded Wall Street estimates for 24 consecutive quarters. We had thousands of employees. When he eventually sold the company at the peak of the 2000 internet crest for $12.5 billion. Was there luck on this journey? Oh, you bet there was. There was luck every step of the way. But that's always part of the equation. But a lot of the time, you need to make your own luck. As a venture capitalist today, I now back new startups for a living. And nothing is more important in selecting the companies we back than the people behind them. And no single trait in those people that we back is more important than perseverance. You know, I love to hear stories of founders who've been working decades at a business that becomes known as an overnight success. You see, business is hard. Most professions are hard. Life is hard. I just finished reading a great book, some of you may have read it, by a former Navy SEAL called You Can't Hurt Me. And the words of the author in one particular page really resonated. You know, he loosely said, if you want to be uncommon, it will require sustaining greatness for a long period of time. It requires staying in constant pursuit and putting out unending effort. This may sound appealing, but will require everything you have to give and then some. It will require singular focus and may upset the balance of your life. But that's what it takes. And you know, he is so right. The life of an entrepreneur is one of failure and disappointment and sacrifice. It's one of missed birthdays and missed anniversaries. It's not always fun, and I promise you, sometimes it is downright awful. But in my opinion, more than anything else, success comes to those who go out and get it, to those who won't quit. Because when you hunker down, when you persevere, when you shout to yourself, if you let up, you lose, when you finally found yourself on the other side of your journey, whatever the outcome, win or lose, knowing that you gave your absolute best, will I assure you, there is just no greater feeling than that. And I remind myself of that every single day. Now, remember that t-shirt that I talked about? Well, I convinced that big guy to sell it to me. So for 20 bucks, he stood there shirtless in the bar, and I had it framed, stains and all, and every day since, it's hung in my office as a reminder to me and only me, to carry on. Well, enough of the shirt. Let me now maybe take you in another direction. I call it magical moments. And let me offer another story, if I may. This story goes back a really long way to when my oldest 31-year-old son now, I know it's hard to believe that a young guy like me would have a 31-year-old son. When my son Brian was just 2, my wife and I took him on a family vacation to Disney World. We'd been looking forward to the trip for weeks. And when we got there, we weren't disappointed. I mean, everything was perfect. We had a room in the all-star resort. Happy music was in the air. Smiling children were everywhere. It was just a perfect Disney destination. Then for the next few days, we were off to the Magic Kingdom. But here's where it gets interesting. Brian, you see, as anyone who has parented a 2-year-old might understand, had this adorable little stuffed animal that he carried everywhere. It was called a puffalump. Brian called it Puffy. He loved it, he slept with it, he took it on his play dates, and he took it on his stroller to meet with Mickey and his friends. It was his best friend. But for a few weeks now, I had been starting to feel that my son needed to show some maturity. How's that? A 2-year-old shows some maturity. And I wanted him to separate from his little playmate for a while. So after a lot of debate, I convinced Brian to leave Puffy behind one morning as we headed to Disney World. So he did. Oh, we had quite the ritual. We puffed Puffy up in the bed. We put an eye patch, pirate's eye patch over his left eye. We left him with a plastic sword to guard our belongings when we were gone. And then we went off to the park. And we had so much fun until early afternoon when we came back to the hotel room for Brian's nap. Brian couldn't wait to reunite with Puffy. We opened the door. He charged to the bed to meet with Puffy. And guess what? Puffy was gone. That was a problem. Brian was in hysterics. I called the front desk in full panic mode. They assured me all would be solved. Minutes later, a knock on the door, and there she was. I can see her today, as sure as I'm here. A lovely Disney employee with mouse ears on and a nice name tag. Sally was her name. Arm extended, and there in her hand she had, guess what? No, it wasn't. It was Tigger in her hand. Brian cried. My wife just shook her head at me. I called the front desk again, spoke with manager after manager, and eventually, believe it or not, reached the executive vice president of all Disney resorts. You can't make this stuff up. Believe me, it's all true. It seemed there was like an APB out on Puffy. Every employee was on the case. After a couple more hours, the phone rang. It was that EVP. He said to me, Mr. Davis, I can't be certain, but I think we have Puffy. Can you hang in the room for a little while, and I'll be there? I said, I'm not going anywhere. Then, knock, knock on the door. I opened the door, and there he was with Puffy. Brian was thrilled. He grabbed Puffy. He gave it the biggest, longest hug you could ever imagine. It turns out Puffy was taken with the bed sheets by house cleaning to an off-campus laundry facility, and it was spinning for about 4 hours in a dryer. Puffy had never been so clean. One ingenious employee deduced what happened and figured it all out. You know, Disney cared. They empowered a workforce to act, crisis averted. But to me, my friends, that was a magical moment. So much so that here I am now, almost 30 years later, telling the story of Disney and how great they are. But here's the thing. All of us, young and old, can create magical moments every single day of our lives. It's the opportunities that present themselves to us and all that we do to stand out from a crowd, not just in our business lives, but in our personal lives as well. It's what we do to go the extra mile with the simple things and the hard things that people remember. Help a colleague, for instance, with a challenging work assignment, not so you can get kudos from the boss for yourself, but to help your coworker advance and excel. That's a magical moment. Become an energy catalyst. We all know that person who walks into a room and we light up because of the positive vibe they throw off. That person creates magical moments all day long. Here's an easy thing. Try jotting thank you notes to friends or colleagues for something they did. Not something big and huge, just one of just the everyday nicety. Those are magical moments. I promise you, it'll remember it, and you will be remembered. Take an attitude into work each and every day that says, I will make something better today. Better for the company, better for the product, better for a customer, better for a fellow employee, better for myself. You'll be amazed as to how your career will fly as people take notice. Try it. Magical moments, though, are even more incredible when they're applied to organizations. Just think of a company when teams of people think this way, when all are empowered to act for the common good, to be better for each other, This is when transformation takes over. This is how startups disrupt monopolies. These are the entrepreneurs we look for when we back companies. This is when the rigid and tired get overtaken with a sense of energy that is just unbeatable. And here's the best part. Magical moments are good for the soul. They just make us feel good. They make us feel good being part of them, seeing them, being near them. There is just some innate force wired into all of us that loves creating these moments, moments of a better person, a better product, a better anything. You know, now we live in this world that's less about the present than ever in my lifetime. Real memories have become elusive. It's now all about the snap, the post, the tweet, the Insta, you name it. And for what purpose? For what purpose? All to accumulate this unending vault of likes from people we don't know, don't feel, and don't appreciate. And it creates this illusion of accomplishment and success. But the great among you today will go forth not seeking this phony sense of instant gratification, but rather with a sense of purpose that is committed to overcoming life's challenges, to going out and saying, I can, I will, I must, and I did do something that mattered. It will only come with hard work and sacrifice, of that you can be sure, but it's yours for the taking. Some of you will leave here to build companies of great consequence. Others might be role players in companies both big and small. And some of you might just change the world. But regardless of what path your journey can follow, what I can promise is you give it your all, and all that you do, you will feel proud and accomplished. And for the very few among you who are totally and completely committed to creating magical moments in all that you do, it is us that will feel proud and accomplished to have known you. You are the future makers. Build us a wonderful world. Good luck, graduates.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you for those inspiring remarks. You let up, you lose. What a nice mantra to live life by. Now the moment you have all been waiting for, the degrees will now be conferred. Will the candidates please rise and remain standing until your degree has been conferred? Please rise. Provost Bean, it is my privilege to report to you that the candidates here assembled and others have qualified in all respects for the degrees in course, Master of Business Administration, Master of Science with Specification, or Master of Science. They have successfully completed curricula offered by the D'Amore-McKim School of Business and have been recommended by the faculty and the Council of Deans to be awarded degrees in recognition of their academic accomplishments.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the University, I do hereby confer on you and all those who have properly qualified the degree of Master of Business Administration, Master of Science with Specification, or Master of Science, with all the honors, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto pertaining.
Thank you. Thank you, Provost Bean. Will the graduates please be seated? Associate Dean Klepper will announce the graduates as they receive their diplomas and are presented to the platform by the marshals.
The Masters of Business Administration, Nathaniel Zuedu Abate. Master of Business Administration,
Can we go back to
the Master of Business Administration, Nathaniel Zuedu Abate. Charles Chimeziri Achibiri. Alexandra Elizabeth Alstead. Reza Alam. Eduardo Alfonso Paredes. Ahmed Mustafa Al-Nasiri. Yasmin Al-Sadek. Siddharth Arasu. Jennifer A. Arnold. Soumya Balasubramanian. I got this one. Soumya Balasubramanian. Siddhant Bansal. Vincent Roberto Barrera. Jillian Marie Bartel. Alexander Collins Barton. Erin Elizabeth Bates. Zul Batnison. Besa Beja. Anthony Joseph Beliveau Flores. Christopher John Bergendahl. Colleen Elizabeth Billifer. Christopher Edward Bacci. Sarah Elizabeth Bolt. Christopher Stefan Boucard. Elisa Marie Bowens. Marcel Burke. Bethany S. Cabrera. Stephanie Mary Caldwell. Rebecca Jean Carter. Victoria Frances Carton. Christelle Celestin. Pungpim Chisiri. Robert Arthur Chamberlain. Donna Karen Charles. Eric Choi. Samantha Evelyn Sibeli. Audrey Michelle Clayton. Alexander Miles Cook. Sabrina Caitlin Cote. Daniel Neil Cronin. Alejandra E. Cross. Sean M. Crossman. Carl Hassan Sear. Jacob Jerome Daniels. Megan Marie Dawson. Erica Diego Castro. Alexander DeLong. Michael Lawrence DiLorenzo. Lauren Ann Dickinson. Sean Richard Dominio. Jared Scott Dodge. William Ward Doherty. Manisha Vinod Dutt. Tyler Joseph Easley. Alicia Nicole Eggleston. Anna Erday. Ismarai Hernandez Escobedo. Jason Anton Fidel. Edward Robert Fagan. Stephen Anson Falconer. Taylor Simeon Falstick. Orna Philomena Ferry. Tyler Bennett Folan. Sarah Kramer Foreman. Allison Dorothy Fort. AJ Fredericangeli. Aliza Rachel Freelick. Maria Ricardina Garcia Alves. Leah A. Gardner. Ian Garnett. Jason Michael Gilbert. Jennifer Shepard Giles. Pramod Kumar Gopalakrishna. Allison Freelander Gorski. Benjamin Matthew Green. Kamaria Danielle Gidry Beal. Whitney Bryce Gooderl. Sarah Hall Weaver. Jesse Gabrielle Harvey. John Joseph Healy. Amar Shambhu Hirani. Matthew Charles Hoffer. Anthony J. Holloway. Michael Thomas Herster. Molly Rebecca Jaffe. Delilah Ray Johnson. Mark Richard Julian. Sneha Mohan Kadalur. Karun Kapoor. Scott Christopher Cohan. Chuda Kiripornpamal. Resha Kodandrama. Stephen A. Lambert. Brittany Marie Lantieri. Matthew Harry Leahy. Rue Lee. Tatiana Lealina. Jing Chuan Liang. Hank Hung Yun Lin. Andrew Littleford. Pedro Jr. Lopes.
Way to go, Pedro! Woo!
Tatiana Lopez Aranzas. Christine McCool. Laura Ann Magliocco. Ajay Mahankali. Lavan Mensguladza. Maylin Marte. Yani Mizrahi. Patrick Monfestan Desier. Sean William Napier. Scott David Navarro. Benjamin Smith Nelson. Juliana Newmeyer. Corey DeMont Newton. Feng Win. Lena Win. Jenna Frances Niemeyer. Lauren Ann Nobile. Elisa Cezine Nolette. Scott Donald Norland. Elizabeth Jessica Norton. Christopher Michael Noyes. Obina Brian Wigwe. Saleza Obodu. Caitlin Margaret O'Connor. Emily Jean O'Connor. Ketki Pandi. Saramsh Pandit. Barry Starks Parker. Indeed. Kaylee Farron Parker. Joe Likayan Pillais. Stephen Burke Perkins. Aliyah Kyle Perry. Nati Pichipino. Vasilika Polena. Joel David Preminger. Ashley Heather Reyna. Manuel E. Ramirez. Omar Zaki Raza. Allison Michelle Reed. Connor James Regan. Catherine Ann Riley. Robert Remesevich. Amanda Kelsey Reynolds. Allie Riley. Nicholas Carlisle Roach. Laura Rodriguez. Nicholas Mark Roy. George Fuad Saad. Robert P. Sacco. Michael Jeffrey Sacreda. Sergio Sandoval. Jesse Calogero Savage. Michael Thomas Shermley. Lindsay Ann Schiller. Ethan Ryan Schlegel. Paul Leslie Salini. Krushi Shah. Nizam Umina Sheikh. Daphne Ellen Shepard. Bradley Peter Shepard. Caitlin Elizabeth Scher. Eunice Ibrahim Shuaib. Shivam Singhal. Lionel Desiderio Sison. Erin E. Smith. Ryan William Smith. Weilian Song. Ajay Sudarsan Sridharan. Nabila Tanaka. Felicia Tarimina. Olivia Rose Tedesco. Sudeshi Dunya Thinabadu. Maxim G. Terrio. Grayson Nicholson Thomas. Amandine Ire Sidwin Tai. Sohil Tiwari. Arinze Brian Uzowihe. Daniel Enrique Valadares. Michael A. Varela. Robin N. Vaughn. Jared Michael Vestal. Colleen Vozella. Jonathan Matthew Webb. Erin Alicia Wilson. Ryan Michael Wyman. Stephen Y. Ching Yip. Nolan Yu. Maria Paula Zaruk Serrano. Duhui Zhang. Christy Zhang. Surendranada Reddy Bairapu Reddy. For the Master of Science in Accounting and Master of Business Administration dual degree, Grant Everett Allenson. Shane Travis Anglade. Andrew Ozzie. Stephen John Beck. Michaela Jane Bouvette. Jeffrey Edwin Bullock. Samantha Catherine Carey. Seth Matthew Carlson. Andrea Blair Caruth. Suring Chopel. Kevin Patrick Darmody. Brice Deschamps Barrett. Guy Serge Semyonov Duzan. Timothy Daniel Dubé. Kara Einbinder. Margaret Helen Ferguson. Raphael Golier. Robert Anthony Harridan. Ashley Marie Hitchcock. Kemi Alexander Idowu. Garrett Matthew Johnson. Dina M. Knapp. Pu Xuan Mai. Holly Catherine Marshall. Bradley McCallum. Christopher John McGrath. Brendan Rich Mulhern. Marian Acha Encia. Cassandra Ann Ordway. Samuel Ronald O'Toole Smalley. Alexander Emerson Pfeiffer. Kritika Prudan. Tyler Martin Raphael. Kira Lauren Resnick. Sarah Elizabeth Roche. Ellen Marie Rogan. Alexander R. Silva. Carl James Sundquist. Wu Wang. Wilhelmina Efwa Zuenes. For the Master of Science in Accounting, Hannah Elizabeth Capellini. Ami Rakesh Kumar Chauhan. Daniel William Colvin. Marco Antonio Contreras. Anna Doherty. David Arthur Fetterman. Anthony John Graziano. Elizabeth Ann Park. Linglin Hu. Emily Jiang. Madison Mary Kelly. Jennifer Michelle Coleman. Daniel Korogadsky. Junru Leo. Natalie Ellen Lorerio. Nayeri Nelly Rodriguez. Samantha Elizabeth Ryder. Dane Marcus Sullivan. Hanrui Wang. Zichao Diane Wang. Yufan Yan. Baikong Yuan. For the Master of Science in Finance, Master of Business Administration dual degree, Barter W. Alasfor. Liat Offcaesar. Reginald H. Burrell. Komal Chauhan. Gabrielle Hart Clemente. Joseph James Damaso. Saba Dovlatabadi. Bijan Izadka. Francesco Giustazzi. Jason Daniel Howell. Keith John Jensen. Kai-Chen Jia. Brandon Kamagaki. Marcello Leo. Yijing Li. Kian Marna. Xuan Susan Nok Win. Matthew Craddock Powers. Koi Tai Kwak. Sofia Quintano Bertoldi. Alexander Paul Ricciardi. Claudia Daniela Soto Marmolejo. Christine Stigas. Branimir Stamanov Stove. For the degree Master of Science in Finance, Ji-Yi Chen, Ya-Wen Chen, Sochitra Chia, Florica Chowdhury, Shiran Chen, Daiwei Chen, Ziyu Fan, Hang Gao, Jinyi Huang, Yang He, Xiaowei Hu, Chengjia Huang, Junchen Huang, Amy Lynn Lambert, Diana Sarah Levin, Jiaxi Li, Nan Li, Chingyou Uli, Yifei Li, Yueqing Li, Xishuan Liao, Fang Liao, Jaipei Liu, Zijia Liu, Zhuofan Liu, Yudi Lu, Shengran Meng, Ryan Patrick Murray, Minyan Qian, Bobby Lynn Roberts, Chunlin Tan, Ziqi Wang, Nanxi Wang, Yue Wang, Stephen Carl Wilkinson, Yuqing Wu, Wenting Xiao, Bing Shu, Runwei Shu, Shiping Shu, Yuxi Ye, Jiyun Yue, Boei Zhang, Hang Zhang, Jinzi Zhu. For the degree Master of Science in International Business, Wenwen Chen, Zachary Cullinane Doyle, Jinhao Hu, Juntae Liu, Michael Verdi Squitieri. Yangfan Zhang. For the Master of Science in Taxation, Mohammed Istakar Ali. Tirupati Arunkumar Bhatt. Orume Abiola Hayes. David William Hill. Yasmin Kuki. Matthew James Mazotis. Kelly Ann McClary. Olga Ozaraleva. Luis Sierra. Trung Tan Tran. Junyu Wang. Diana Yurieva. For the Master of Science, Taha Ibrahim Abdulanan. Brian Philip Allenby. Ashley Alves. Faisal Najib Ashur. Ravi Belor. Laura Carolina Betancourt Gutierrez. Daniel Robert Bolton. Mark Bush. Ashwira Therakalakil Chala. Timothy A. Cochran. Alex Crichton. Carrie Ellen Desmaris. Erin Elise Dreisbach. Naomi Rebecca Drewy. Panji Bagas Driprakoso. Young Fu Fang. Raymond D. Galbraith. Piero Gallegos. Vincent Nicholas Gunawan. Gwanguri Wang. Ibrahim Al-Huda. Kyung-A Wang. V. Tao Lei. Dinny Matthew. Nicolette Marie Medina. Omar Mora. Robert Joseph Nelson. Isaac Clarence Franklin Payne. Jennifer Marie Pond. Anusha Prasad. Claudia Pacheco Remley. Nathan Pettit Rich. Alicia Renee Riley. Heather D. Slatterly. John Matthew Sawyer. David J. Shane. Erin Elizabeth Stefan. Kevin E. Swecker. Jonathan M. Tran. Victoria Lee Tuitt. Raviteja Vidapalapati. Xiaorun Yu. Xingyu Chao. And Min Lee Pham.
Okay, congratulations, graduates. It is now my great pleasure to introduce Sean Hamilton. Sean serves as the chair of the university's Young Alumni Advisory Board and is a 2014 graduate of the D'Amore-McKim School of Business. Please join me in welcoming Sean.
I won't be doing a flip. It is my privilege to welcome the D'Amore-McKim School of Business class of 2019 to the Northeastern University alumni family, a network of more than 250,000 graduates in 164 countries. Today, you join a unique group of innovative, influential, and motivated entrepreneurs and professionals who have come before you. You will all made important connections as part of your Northeastern experience, and these will be crucial as you enter exciting new stages in your professional careers. So, let me be the first to offer you a promotion. From this point forward, you have each been appointed Chief Executive Connectors for Northeastern University. As a Chief Executive Connector, constantly think about how you can build, nurture, and strengthen relationships on behalf of the D'Amore-McKim School of Business and Northeastern University. Leverage your position by strengthening your network and the relationships that you have already made within and beyond Northeastern. I'm certain that your active investment in this role will fuel both your personal and professional success. I am immensely proud to welcome you as fully vested partners within the global network of Northeastern alumni, a robust group of resilient idea generators, thought leaders, and winners. And I hope that you will turn to your global alumni network to help you find the resources that you need to achieve what's next. Now, let us begin our traditional pinning ceremony. I would like to invite Sarah Hall Weaver to join me at the podium. Please remove the pin from your card and place it on a fellow graduate next to you. This pin symbolizes not only your determination and accomplishments, but also your inclusion in an incredibly diverse community that you are now a part of, the Northeastern alumni family. And I eagerly anticipate watching your stories unfold. Congratulations.
I am all that's left between you and celebration. You are now prepared to take a leadership position in business. You brought experience with you to Northeastern and added to it substantially. You've added considerable theory to your knowledge base, but have also learned intangibles such as teamwork, leadership, conflict resolution that are best learned experientially. You've developed a network of Northeastern alums, faculty, friends that will serve you long after you leave the campus. So I charge you to leverage your new skills and contacts to be a success for yourself, for your family, and for your organization. But to define success in a broader way than just financial, your own personal triple bottom line. There's kind of a overused phrase regarding this that is do well by doing good. You've probably all heard that a number of times. I looked it up to see, when did people start using that? It turns out it's been frequently used since the late 19th century, and I found one article that said that it began with Benjamin Franklin. I don't know if that's true. But the real question is, are those nice words, or can we really do that? Can we optimize both profit and social justice and sustainability all at the same time? So I decided to do a little research. Like to bring data to these sorts of things. And it turns out that Just Capital and Forbes publish each year a list of companies they call the Just 100 that are judged on these sorts of issues. And I found an analysis that was done for the 2018 set of 100 companies. And so it compared the average of those 100 chosen companies versus the average of all companies. Now, being a statistician, I could give you a lecture on the difficulty in using those kind of comparisons to really draw any serious inferences, but I won't. They pay their median employees about a third more than the average company. These companies had no consumer product safety fines over the past 3 years. My guess is that was one of the qualifications to get on the list. They donate money at 3.8 times more per dollar of revenue than the average company. They emit 72% fewer greenhouse gases per dollar of revenue. They face 74% fewer employee discrimination cases per dollar of revenue, and they use 80% less fossil fuel per dollar of revenue, but that had to be true because of the greenhouse gas thing. But they also delivered 8% higher return on equity than the other companies. So there's some data that says you can do it all, so please do. Congratulations.
Thank you, Provost Bean. Will alumni from the D'Amore-McKim School of Business class of 2019 please remain seated until the marshals lead you in the recession? I also ask that the audience remain in their seats until the faculty and graduates have recessed. Family, guests, graduates, and participants are all cordially invited to attend a reception immediately following today's ceremony. The reception will be held in the Curry Student Center. Signs and university hosts will be outside Matthews Arena and outside the Curry Student Center, leading guests to the reception area.
Number.
C17, sorry. I don't know, just get them out out.